Welcome back to another episode of Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia. I am your host, Sir Chad Everett Shears. Today's episode is on one of the things that I recognize often. And for some time, I actually have been aware of it and I've practiced this quite a bit. I'd say it's been somewhere in my mid-20s I got the first real inclination of it. And then it wasn't long after that that I really started to see the practical application of it. So it is, don't wait for the right person to show up in your life. Be the person. So let's say you like it whenever people make you laugh. Okay? Well, how often do you make others laugh? You like it whenever somebody makes you feel like you're the center of the universe in a conversation. How often do you do that to somebody else? You like it whenever you're complimented. Well, how often do you do that? You like it when you feel connected and somebody seems to care. How often do you do that? And do that with others. I'm not saying do it in such a way that it's inauthentic. Like for me, I have a incredible motivator that is a key for me to connect with others. And I have an undying sense of curiosity. I really want to understand and know where people are. Everything from the most obvious asshole to the most kindest and sweetest person. I want to know everybody and throughout the whole thing because it's like there's just such a curiosity, right? For the greatest asshole. Well, why? Why are they so incredibly hostile that would turn people off? Because that's usually what assholes do, is just push people away. And it could be like a porcupine. Have you ever seen a porcupine at a distance? You can tell immediately you probably shouldn't touch that thing. But if you ever see a porcupine from the underbelly, they're cute little buggers. There's always motive behind everything that people are doing. Unless, of course, they have serious mental illnesses, then obviously that may not be something that you'll ever comprehend because it takes a very highly trained and clinical individual to really grasp what's going on. But in the normal senses, everybody has motive. Everybody. Some people's motives are just to be loved, and I'd say that that's a huge motivating factor. But that might be the motive that you see, and they just want to be loved, but they don't have their world sorted out in such a way that they experience much of it, but they do experience attachment and the non-achievement of those attachments. And that causes them to become bitter over time, pessimistic or whatever, and then all of a sudden now you run into the person and they're stressed to the hilt. They don't have their life organized in such a way that things are moving smoothly or predictably, and then they react in such a way you get turned off, and you call them an asshole. Or you get the other side. What's behind the bitter exterior of the jerk could be, a very, very sweet core. And on the other side of it, same thing goes for the one that seems to be incredibly sweet. They may have a very dark side, but they just never show it. And it could be because their world outlook is optimism, and they like it over what they're really going through, and internally they have the most disgusting dialogue towards themselves or others, but yet externally they're always so sweet, or at least occur that way to most people. There's a lot of duality that we exist within because most of us focus on one way of living life as if there's one right way. We don't live dynamically in the situations that we've created. We live often in denial of the situations that we created, and you can hear denial by saying it's not my fault, it's this person's fault. It's not my responsibility, somebody else did this to me. And that's a denial of the reality. You'll always get a hand of cards dealt to you. You don't always want the cards you get dealt necessarily, but if you look at it this way, at least you're still being dealt cards. Now, if you're not being dealt cards, that means game's over. It's just sometimes you get really favorable hands and sometimes you don't. Now, you do play a role into how those cards show up for the most part, but most of us are waiting for somebody else to make our life better. They're like, well, I got a shitty hand. Somebody else is going to come along and fix this. They're going to help me either understand how to strategize this better by just the virtue of them being in our life, or they may come along and teach you something. But I don't hear as many people asking for that one. I hear most people just waiting for the right person to fix their life. Don't wait for that. It really, I mean, does it mean that just because you are the person that would make you laugh, you are the person that would make you feel loved, you are the person that would make you feel special, does not mean that tomorrow you're getting married or you find that life partner. Although, if you look at it this way, you will find that life partner. You absolutely will. But that life partner is you. You are your life partner. Other people don't have the guarantee of being there in your life. Even if they're there right now, or they promise to be there the rest of your life, sickness happens. Life events happen that separate people. It's not always a choice of the two individuals involved. But the person that will be there for life, you better make friends with that person. That's you. So, be the person that would make you laugh. Be the person that would make you love. Be the person that would make you cry tears of joy. Hell, in the right circumstances, be the person and make you pound your fist against the frickin' wall. It's just, be the person that makes you live. The one that you say, I'm waiting for. Because if you're not that person, then you're only going to attract other people that are just trying to fill in a void. You might play the lottery and win. You might. There's always those things. But I think Hallmark has given us a really bad idea about how relationships are supposed to be, because they've distilled them down into the most sweetest romantic concepts. They'll put the challenges in, because everything needs a challenge in order to be able to understand the value of the sweetness of it, and the romantic aspects of it. But the reality is life doesn't occur that way. We have small snippets that fit into the way that those things are distilled. But we don't have to live that way. And I personally prefer not to live that way. I want the moments that people would call boring. I want the moments that are frustrating. I want the moments that have, the greatest senses of failure. I want all of those moments, because those are the ones that you can check your wrist, realize you still have a pulse and you're still alive. And you don't devalue the rest of your life for hating the moments that don't facilitate the sweetness of what you think it should be. You don't create more chaos in your relationships because you don't think that something is as it should be. The Disney fairy tales, where, there's a little bit of marked tragedies and challenges, but yet ultimately it comes out to being a great great fairy tale ending of happily ever after. That can create such a false reality that makes you abandon situations that require that you work through. Every situation you abandon that life is telling you to work through will repeat itself. But in my experience, it seems to magnify over time. It doesn't seem to lessen in time. It's usually a lower lesson or an easier lesson at a younger age. If you go through it and it won't be a reoccurring lesson in life, because you've learned what you needed to learn. But the more you push it off, it seems that it gets more severe, more challenging. Why is all of this connected? Because you're at the center. If you're not the person, it doesn't have to just be romantic relationships. If you're not the person that would make you hire you, if you were a manager, then why the hell would anybody hire you? If you're not the person that would make you feel like you're important, why the hell would anybody date you? And if you don't have an answer for that, then it's almost certainly something superficial. It's almost certainly something that you have no awareness to. Your awareness is so far away from the target of what they see in you, because you're not even on target. you're looking at them in a similar way. I'm waiting for the next time they make me feel good about myself. I'm waiting for the next time that I smile because of this person. I check my phone and see their text message, and I'm all excited. Now, is that a little hit of a drug? And the drug be like self-esteem? Oh, because by the way, self-esteem is a lot like a drug. I'm more with Jordan Peterson on self-esteem. I think it is a concept that's similar, and it's in a family of entitlement. We really shouldn't be teaching people that self-esteem is so incredibly important. We should be teaching people on how to work towards developing the things that they want, not their sense of self, because self-esteem is a sense of self based off of somebody else, even though that's not what it's actually called. It's insane to me that the contradicting value of what we call self-esteem is it's not self-esteem. If you ever listen to the like when somebody says, something that brings self-esteem in the framework, it's always that it's been damaged by somebody else. You hurt my self-esteem. That's not its definition, but that's how we that's the way we're taught about that concept. Reality is that just develop people and teach them how to start developing themselves. If you teach people to take on challenges in a way that they can become better at dealing with those challenges in every aspect, and in my education, it's the 8 different areas of maturity. If you're teaching people how to handle situations by maturing their way through it, you're going to get so much further than to sit back and go, well, somebody hurt my self-esteem. So, one side of it is you are the person that would magnetize others because you simply are the person that would make you happy. Because you really are the only person that can make you happy, by the way. You're it. There is no other option. Now other people can get you to realize happiness by getting you into situations where you're recognizing that you make a difference or you matter or that you're important. But usually you say, I matter to this person or I'm important to this person, versus I matter to me and I'm important to me. There's a lot of interesting issues that we have out in the world, right? We have narcissism. Narcissism's nasty. It's ugly. It does horrible things to people. It causes people to do some of the worst things in the world, to others. And then there's the idea of you should not be selfish because selfish is narcissistic, which is bullshit. Now, healthy selfish is good. But if you don't understand the difference between unhealthy selfish and healthy selfish, unhealthy selfish is narcissism. Healthy selfish is good, solid, no value. It is a good, I do not agree with this. It is a good, yes value after the no value has been solidified. Because if you can't say no to anything, you say yes to everything. And if you say yes to everything, your yes doesn't matter because you're not going to be able to facilitate all your yeses. And in most instances, you facilitate very few of your yeses because you take on too many. And then people just expect that of you and then make you wrong. You make them wrong and all this tailspin of craziness that we create. So you could either hope that somebody doesn't hurt the way you feel about yourself, or you can be the person that would make you happy, that would make others feel special because you make you feel special. This is the way that I am. So if you know me in person and I'm not going through the funk, which I'm finally breaking out of that funk very strongly at the moment, and gratefully so, but the funk dropped value and I won't dismiss it or find regret in it. But the point is if you know me, you'll see that you will have experienced that with me. I'm playfully engaged. I them and where they're at most of the time, or I let them show me where they're at versus taking some assumptions. But I like to be playful. I like to engage with people, and I like to create meaningful moments because those make me feel like I have deep value. And I want that for everyone. Because that's the greatest access to getting to know somebody. So, know thyself, right? So, all right. Well, be the person that would make you feel like you want to be around that person. Be that one. You don't know how to do it? Today's a great day to get started. It's a process. You have to learn you. There's no one that can give you a blueprint. And give you an outline. Can't give you a blueprint. So, let's get to living about that. So, all right. Well, destination, I am ready for my morning workout. And I am actually fired up over it. This will be, so this is the third workout of the week. Now, Tuesday. Still doing my 2-a-days and still enjoying the hell out of the results that I'm getting in all aspects, and doing the working in and working out. So you guys are witnessing on these videos the majority of what you're witnessing, although it may not be framed in a way that makes sense to you that way, but what you're seeing is working in. Now, like this is a process of working in. Now I'm going to go work out so I stay in good balance. So, yeah, that's it for today. All right. So again, this is Sir Chad Everett Brochures. This is Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia. Thank you for joining in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video with people in your life that you want to start this kind of conversation with, or that you think can take value out of it. I am not saying I'm 100% right. I am saying that I'm as right as I can be for me at this stage of my life and through the maturity that I currently have. I hope to give more insight and light for people that are in places that are looking to develop. But again, I'm not going to be your guru. It's not my intention. My intention is just to try to bring us to a different sense of awareness, and then that we can get to the point where sharing with each other what we know so that we can further develop ourselves overall. So this is not an easy journey, but damn it, is it worth it. It gets a bit sticky at times and pretty challenging, but stick with me. It will be worth it. Right? We're going to make the life that you want. Just hang in there. All right. With that, again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.